If you're taking notes this morning, why don't you just jot this down real quick? Just write this down. The principle of what's in your hand. And so if you allow me a quick synopsis of Genesis. In the Garden of Eden, Eve brings an apple to her husband. He eats it and the whole thing unravels. She had an apple in her hand. Fast forward the tape to Abraham and Sarah. They're having trouble to have a baby according to what God has said. And so what did Sarah have in her hand? She brought Hagar to her husband. Now it's one thing to give your husband a piece of fruit. It's something else entirely when you bring another woman into the tent. What's in her hand? Do you know what was in Rebekah's hand for her son? Performance, manipulation, lying, cheating, stealing. You're not going to get the blessing from God. You're going to steal it from your father. Listen to me. While your son is gone, I'll go kill a goat because he's so old he can't really taste the difference anymore. And I'll give you the food. I'll do it for you. And then you can go in there and get the blessing because I want my favorite son to be the one who leads the family. If you're a parent in the room, ask yourself this. What's in my hand that I'm giving to my children? What am I demonstrating to my children? What am I teaching my children? We can ask ourselves this question as spouses. Is my spouse in the room doing one thing and I'm listening through the wall planning to do another and subvert them? Like one person is excited about hearing that. What's in your hand when you're listening to your boss make plans? Are you playing manipulation? Are you playing a con? Are you playing politics in the office? Or are you conducting yourself with virtue and integrity? What's in your hand? Now we got to make it even more real. What do you have in your hand when you come to God? I'll tell you something I've learned as a pastor. The person who people try to run the con on him the most is God. Some of the best con artists and fakers in the world are Christians. Because we come down the middle aisle praising the power down, but then we're fighting in the parking lot. Marriage is hanging by a thread. Hadn't spent time with the kids in 3 weeks. Finances are a mess. How are you doing? Blessed and highly favored? You are not. When God comes to touch on your life and on your heart, rather than let Him touch on the real issue, you'll put an extra 10 in the offering plate and try to buy God off. Or really, I'm going to make myself feel a little better so I don't have to let Him deal with me. Can I say something to what I know many of you are veteran believers? New seasons reveal new layers. New seasons reveal new layers. And what you thought or what was healed and being made whole in a previous season, there's only so much expectation. There's only so much demand. And so God has worked in you, it's true. And you say, I'm doing good, I'm winning. But then you step into a new season with a new demand, a higher pressure, and now all of a sudden I find myself struggling with an issue that I thought I had dealt with. And so the temptation that we fall into for those of us that we've been walking with the Lord our whole life is we think we've arrived. Well, I've been faithful for 5 years, and so I'm good with the Lord. I don't have any gross sin in my life. I don't have any issues for Him to work on. I've known the Lord for 50 years, and He's had His way in me. I'm good to go. Explain to me how you think a God who has limitless creativity, limitless power, limitless desire to heal and restore, and you think that in your lifetime He's done with you? There's nothing else for you to learn from Him. There's nothing else for Him to say to you. You are as close to God as you can be. Let's just keep going. When was the last time you led someone to the Lord? When was the last time you really stepped out in faith? When was the last time you took a risk because God asked you to? When was the last time that you loved someone that ain't like you? So, well, have we arrived or not? The answer is no. We never, ever, ever, ever arrive. You might be listening to me saying, dude, I'm 105. I may go any moment. The best advice I could give anybody while you have breath in your lungs is to get back on the healer's operating table and say, Lord, before I go, search my heart one last time. Give me clean hands and a pure heart one more time. Do your work in me, Lord, because I don't want to stand before you and you show me one iota that I could have let you do in me, and I refused. When it comes to following Jesus and a God who is always on the move, you never arrive. Success is only measured by proximity. And so as we think about these things, ask yourself this question: what's in my hand? Do you bring authenticity into the house of the Lord? Do you bring honesty to His altar? When it's time to worship, do you worship from a place where you're comfortable, or do you worship from a place that is sacrificial? Because the last time I checked, it's not called the comfortability of praise. It's called the sacrifice of praise. True praise and true worship costs you something. More often than not, it costs you your image and your pride. It's interesting to me that today, as we're singing about the blood applied and all that God has done in our life, one of the things that Pastor Joey has to do is remind us and exhort us that God has in fact worked in our lives. What that tells me is that we've been dwelling on what He hasn't done rather than dwelling on what He has done. I better move on before y'all vote me out, even though you can't do that, but you might could try. What's in your hand? So I encourage you, as you go home this week, continue on reading about the conversation that transpires between Jacob and his mother, because his mother essentially demands that he comply with her con of their father. And he knows that what he's doing is wrong, so much so that his mother says this to him: let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice. In other words, let me pay the price. You just do what I'm telling you. So who are you listening to? What is in your hand? Jacob enters into a deadly cycle that he was already predisposed to, where he may have good intention, but he has bad methods. And something that we can tell from people who are desperate to have the thing rather than the relationship is that they have a lack of trust in God. So many times as believers, we start chasing after destiny and purpose, but we start putting our hope more in destiny and purpose than we do the God who gave us the destiny and the purpose. And so anytime we start chasing after a thing more than a person, we start living a life of performance, being a character, being an idea of who we think, this is who I must be if I want the nice car and I want the house and I want all the things that God has told me. You can want good things, but go about trying to get it the wrong way. And so here's the issue with performance, is that in the long run, it never brings life. And you can get the thing that you say that you want, but you'll have to sacrifice your character to get it. Jesus is the head of the church. The prophets call him the high priest of our faith. And so during his tenure of ministry here on earth, he could have tried to play what was then essentially a religious political game to be the high priest. He would have just had to sacrifice his character to get it. But he kept his character, he kept his integrity, he kept his submission and humility before his Father. And so his Father gave him a title that men can never take, high priest.